Hello and welcome to the first week of Owls. Okay, the first three books I'm going to try and read this week, I'm going to fail, definitely, are Woven in Moonlight for astronomy, so I need to read this mostly at night. Then I've got Nimona by Noelle Stevenson. This is for divination. This is a graphic novel, so hopefully it won't take too long to read. Finally, I've got The Giant That Is Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare, and apparently I need to read a short story before I read this. So I'm going to go find that short story and try and read it now, maybe. And then I'll get into this giant of a book. It's 600 and something pages, so I'm probably not going to read it all this week, but I'll try. We'll see what happens. And yeah, I'll start Woven in Moonlight tonight, and then probably at the end of the week try and get to Nimona if I manage to finish the other two. I'm trying to read, but this creature is making it difficult. Ow, Maddie. I was ill this morning, so I didn't get much of a chance to read. Sorry, you're not seeing much apart from his fur. But I managed to read the short story. And now I'm trying to read Chain of Gold, but this cat is demanding cuddles, as you can see, and he doesn't like just sitting still on you. He kind of squishes you until you stroke him. But yeah, I've read this much, so not very much. Reading Woven by Moonlight now. The cat finally calmed down. Hello, it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's Thursday. Sorry about yesterday. It was the beginning of the Owls and I managed to throw up in the morning and then spent the rest of the day in bed, but I feel fine now, so no idea what that was. It was nasty and I spent most of the day half asleep, half listening to a podcast. But I did manage to read, I'm just going to put you a little bit straighter. I did manage to read Cast Long Shadows by Cassandra Clare and Sarah Rees Brennan. This was the short story I needed to read before I read Chain of Gold. I enjoyed it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, which is basically my normal rating for a short story unless they're really good or really terrible. I started Chain of Gold. I'm not very far in. I'm 72 pages in, so really not very far. Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. It's good. I like the characters. I like the world. I'm liking it more, I think, than the Lady Midnight series, which is good. Maybe not as much as the Infernal Device. I'm going to read a bit more now and then I need to clean, study and film. I also started Woven in Moonlight for astronomy and I'm on page 27. I'm really enjoying this as well. I actually think I might be enjoying this more than Chain of Gold. Something about it's just really intriguing me. It might be the magic system because all the magic in this is based around moonlight and stars. And the synopsis of this, I'll tell you the synopsis of both of them now I've read a bit. Right, it's about a girl called Ximena, who is the Condessa, which is queen, essentially. But she's not actually Condessa, she and someone else have swapped. And she has to go in this person's place to marry a neighbouring king to stop him from killing everyone. That is all I know. In the blurb it said something about rebellion. I'm really enjoying both of these. I'm going to now go read a tiny bit more of that, then dust, clean, hoover. I realised I forgot to give a synopsis for Chain of Gold. So, Chain of Gold, this brick, is about Cordelia Carstairs. It's in the Shadowhunters series. It's set in Edwardian London. I'm 78 pages in and already the romance is far too complicated. But from what I can gather, Cordelia has come to London in order to like go to society balls, be a shadow hunter, etc. and to train to be with her Parabatai, which is I've forgotten her name, Lucy. I assume there's going to be demon attacks. Sorry. Hello, I've filmed, I've not done any editing yet, but I'll edit and get that uploaded today. I've put my hair back after filming. I think I'm going to go work out now because I kind of just want to get moving somehow. Not what I was expecting to feel like in isolation. I'll probably listen to a podcast while I do it. I'm currently listening to On the Ledge, which is a podcast about plants. That sounds really nerdy, but anyway, I love plants. My beauties. and there's another one down here. So yeah, I'll do that. I haven't read much more, and then I'll go and do some studying because I need to do some work. But yeah, I kind of want to go. So I might go upstairs, and there's a rowing machine in my parents' bedroom that belonged to my grandmother, so I might use that. I might also do an ab workout because I found a 10-minute one that I tried and it was really hard, and I got halfway through and I was just like so I might try that, yeah, or do some squats, who knows. I'm not going to film any of this because yeah, it's really embarrassing me working out, but I'll see you soon, and hopefully I'll have actually read something. Bye. I'm actually doing some work, amazingly. I've got this on in the background because it's really calming and I like it. My phone's dying, so I'm going to make this short and sweet. As you might be able to tell, I've had a shower and I'm in my dressing gown. It's the evening and I don't have either of my books on hand, but I'm going to read now. I'm going to try and get 50 to 100 pages of Chain of Gold read, and then read as much of Woven in Moonlight as I can before I fall asleep. Sorry about how bad this vlog is so far. I kind of haven't done much today. I ended up editing a video for a while. I finished a series called Art Venture on YouTube with a friend, and yeah, apart from that I really haven't done much. I need to do more tomorrow. I need to start being productive. Good morning, it's Friday. I haven't really woken up yet. I read some more of Woven by Moonlight last night and I got up to page 117 and I really like this. This is so good. I'm really enjoying it. It's really beautifully written and the characters are amazing. We then have Chain of Gold. I'm currently 184 pages in. I think I'll try and get up to page 200, then I'll start work. This is still very good, still exciting. It's getting more exciting, which I'm glad about. I do enjoy the demon shadow hunter stuff, even though I also enjoy the sort of look at the characters we get. But yeah, it's going to be great, I think. Not enjoying it as much as the Infernal Devices series, but still really enjoying it. So that's good. I'm glad that I'm starting off whatever month it is, April, with 2 books I'm really enjoying. Some speedy thoughts on Chain of Gold. I would die for Anna Lightwood. Oh, she's my new fictional girlfriend.
Oh, sorry, Rusty.
Hello. So I did some reading. Well, I did some studying. I then did some reading. I say some reading. I've only got 100 pages left of Chain of Gold. Kind of flowing through the past 300 or so pages. I can't remember what page I was on last time I spoke to you, page 180 something. And I'm now on page 512 and the actual bit of the book is only 591 pages long. So I'm very nearly finished it. I'm going to finish it now. Then I'm going to do some more work. I wasn't expecting to finish this quite so quickly, but like all of Cassandra Clare's books, it is strangely addictive. I finished my first book for the owls. Chain of Gold, I'm giving it 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. It was, yeah, the ending was not how I was expecting it to end. And I really liked all the characters and I can't wait to read book 2. So yeah, I'm giving it 4.5 out of 5 stars. It's now the Magical All-Nighter, which is the 24-hour readathon. I don't really have much of a plan. I have 2 books I want to read. The first is Nimona, which I have not started. And the second is, of course, Woven in Moonlight. I haven't read any more of this. I didn't read any last night in the end. This one, I have quite a bit left to read. I've got about 200 pages and I need to read it at night, so I'll wait for it to get dark. This one is a graphic novel and I'm going to go downstairs and try and read it now. Once I finish these, I have 4 books I'm tossing up starting. They are The Gargoyle by Andrew Davidson. This is, I think, a Beauty and the Beast retelling from what I've been told, but I think it's not YA, I think it's adult. I think it's quite dark. We then have With the Fire on High. The back says, Amoni wants to be a chef more than anything, but having a 2-year-old daughter and being 17 and still at school isn't exactly making life easy. The one place she can let everything go is the kitchen, where she has magical hands, whipping up extraordinary food beloved by everyone from her grandmother to her best friend Angelica. Amoni knows, though, that there are rules she has to play by, and once she gets cooking, her passion to feed will nourish her soul and her dreams too. With the fire on high, anything is possible. That sounds kind of light and fluffy, so I might save that for after The Gargoyle, which sounds like it might destroy me. And yeah, I'll read this as a sort of cheer me up type of book. We then have The Shadow of the Fox. This is about Kitsune, and the back says, a single wish will spark a new dawn. Every millennium, the missing pieces of the Scroll of 1,000 Powers are hunted, for they hold the power to call the great Kami dragon and ask for any one wish. As the temple burns to the ground, Yumiko escapes with its greatest treasure, the first piece of the scroll, and when fate thrusts her into the path of a mysterious samurai, she knows he seeks what she has. Cage is under orders to kill those who stand in his way, but will he be able to complete his mission? Will this be the dawn that sees the dragon wake? Enter a beautiful and perilous land of shapeshifters and samurai, kami and legends, humans and demons, a world in which Japanese mythology and imagination blend together. This sounds amazing. First priority is read Nimona, finish Woven by Moonlight, then maybe start The Gargoyle. I feel like this is the sort of book I can really fly through. I love books that have multiple tales told within them, and also I feel like this is the sort of book that as soon as I start, I'll want to finish it and I'll want to talk to my dad about it. Actually, ages ago I did start this, so I think I should be able to get through this quite quickly, and then if I have time I might try and read With the Fire on High before this readathon ends, which is tomorrow at 2 p.m. This is not going to happen. My main priority is to finish the first 2 books, but we shall see what happens with these 2. I'm going to go and start reading. Bye. So, update. I have finished Nimona. I finished this a few hours ago. I absolutely loved it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Nimona is about the sidekick to a supervillain, and it is really heartwarming. I really recommend it if you haven't read it. The art style is utterly beautiful. I'm going to find my favourite. Here's my favourite panel. It's at the bottom of that page. I don't know if you can see that. Of course my favourite panel has a cat in it. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. Loved it. Highly recommend. I've then started The Gargoyle by Andrew Davidson. I'm 1 chapter into this and already it's quite dark. It's quite serious trigger warnings. A lot of, in this there's quite a graphic scene, quite a graphic depiction of a car crash and a lot about burn victims. So if that doesn't sound like something that's up your alley, I really would not recommend reading it. However, I'm really intrigued by the writing style. It's weirdly compelling, so I'm looking forward to reading as much of this as possible before it gets dark. I am then going to read as much of Woven in Moonlight as possible. I am not sure if I'll finish it tonight. I've got like 200 pages, 200 and something pages to go, but I want to get another at least 100, 150 pages down. So those are my reading plans. I've got my gin. This is raspberry gin and lemonade, and my book. I'm gonna do some more reading now. I've just had a shower. I thought I'd give you a little reading update. I'll just quickly grab my books. So, The Gargoyle. I am on page 79. This is really addictive. I think it also might give me very strange dreams. It jumps around a lot. There are more trigger warnings. There are huge trigger warnings in this for suicide. There's an incredibly graphic description of it. I mentioned earlier, I think, the ones for car crashes and really graphic descriptions of treatment of burns. There's quite a lot of mention of rape. There hasn't been any descriptions of it, but it's definitely there. This it's quite dark. I think I'm going to have to take it quite slowly. There's a bit of dust. The problem is every single time I finish a chapter, I immediately want to go on to the next one. I'm now just up to chapter 4. And the last chapter finished so beautifully, and I know the next chapter is going to be beautiful, and I just want to keep reading, which, yeah, is probably one reason why it's so good. But I put it down and I picked up Woven in Moonlight. I'm now on page 207 of this. I started on page 117, so I've read about 100 pages. I'm going to try and read more of this before I fall asleep. However, I have now read the majority of this when it has been dark outside, so if I want to, I can just finish this off tomorrow and get a book ticked off my TBR, which would be amazing. So yeah, that's kind of my plan. Finish this at some point by the end of tomorrow and read some more of this. I'm going to try and read a bit more of this tonight because I've only read 53% of it while it was dark outside, and I feel like I need to read a bit more for it to really count. Every single clip in this vlog is slightly more slanted than the last. Anyway, an update. I have read more of The Gargoyle. It's the end of The Magical All-Nighter now. I'm on page 117 of The Gargoyle now. I've just had my singing lesson, which meant I did end up missing the end of The Magical All-Nighter, but it's still the Basically Brit readathon, so I am going to try and finish Woven in Moonlight. This one's technically been on my TBR for longer, so I will try and read a bit more of this one before the Basically Brit readathon ends, as the goal of it is to read a book that's been on your TBR for ages. But I'm going to try and finish this one first, as I only have 100 pages or so to go. Hello, so I finished Woven in Moonlight. I really enjoyed this. I've given it 4 out of 5 stars. It was so sweet, and the animals in it were so cute, the woven animals. So yeah, it was a really good read. I'm looking forward to reading whatever else Isabel Ibanez puts out in the future. I'm not sure if this is the start of a series. I think it said it was on Goodreads, but it read a lot like a standalone, so I guess I'll find out in the future. But I really enjoyed it, and I'm really glad I read it. I've got some hot chocolate, and I've got my book. I'm going to read for a bit now. Hi, it's Monday. I thought I'd better wrap this vlog up. Sorry I didn't vlog much yesterday. And sorry about how boring this week's vlog has been as well. I do realise that, like, my life isn't very interesting when I'm out of lockdown, let alone when I'm in it. But yeah, that's the way yeah. I just really hope that it was able to bring you a little bit of a distraction maybe from whatever's going on. I know lockdown is really, really difficult and really annoying, and the world we're living in at the moment is incredibly stressful. So I hope that this vlog, even if it was only a tiny amount, brought you a little bit of a change from all of that. I'm now really quickly going to talk about the books I read this week. So I managed to get 3 ticked off my TBR. I read Woven in Moonlight for astronomy. I really enjoyed this. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. There was a slightly predictable twist, like, that I sort of saw coming from about page like 100, but it was a lot of fun. Otherwise, I really enjoyed it. It was a really, really beautiful world, and Zemina was a great main character. Also, I loved the magic system so much in this world. I also read Nimona by Noelle Stevenson. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars, absolutely adored it. The art style was fantastic, the characters were amazing, everything about this was just brilliant. And I read the huge book that is Chain of Gold. I absolutely flew through this. I ended up giving it 4.5 out of 5 stars. Really enjoyed it, really recommend it if you like the Shadowhunters world. The new characters were great, the world was amazing, and yeah, it was a really fun read. I then read 200 pages of The Gargoyle by Andrew Davidson. This is really beautiful. I'm going to save the rest of my thoughts on it for next week's vlog, but yeah, I'm really enjoying this so far. So that is my wrap up. I hope that you're staying safe and well, and that you're looking after yourself, practicing self-care, doing all of those things. Please let me know if you're taking part in the Owls Readathon. Please just let me know how you are down below, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.